everybody, and welcome to today's video. Once again, I'm in the kitchen, and today I'm going to show you how I can 1 whole year's worth of mushrooms. Here is all of the mushrooms that we cut up, and I'm going to show you the way that I can them because it has a little bit of a twist to it. First thing we're going to do is, because I have so many mushrooms, I'm going to blanch these. Now, you don't have to blanch them at all, but it takes a lot more room in the jars if you put them in raw, and they will shrink to about half the size. That means you're using double jars. Well, I don't have enough jars to do that, so I'm going to blanch mine so they become half the size so I can fit more in my jar. I'm going to go ahead and blanch them. So what does that mean? All you have to do is take a kettle of water, bring it to a boil, drop your mushrooms in there for 3 minutes, and then you can go ahead and take them back out. I'm going to go ahead and do that step, and I'll get back to you in just a moment when I show you filling the jars. Right, so while we wait for these mushrooms to blanch, I'm going to show you the little bit of a twist that I add to when I can my mushrooms. Mushrooms have to be pressure canned. This is a pressure canning video. And mushrooms need to be pressure canned at 11 pounds pressure for 45 minutes depending on your altitude. Today, for canning my mushrooms, I'm going to add my own onion and my own beef broth. In years past, I used Lipton onion soup mix, and that is really frugal, but Lipton onion soup mix has a lot of added ingredients and preservatives. Today, we're going to take organic beef broth, and we're going to take organic onions that came from my own garden, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to put that to our jars. All we're going to do is we're going to put about a teaspoon each pint jar. Mushrooms also should not be canned in anything larger than a pint jar. So I would not recommend that you can mushrooms anything larger than a pint jar. All right, let's go put our seasoning in our jar, and then we'll add the mushrooms to it. It gave me a double loaded canner so I can stack them 2 high. So this is a full canner. Now I need to go ahead and put some boiling water and fill up the jars. And now I'm going to can the last of my tomatoes. These are stewed tomatoes with a little bit of brown sugar and some of my dried peppers and seasonings. This is pretty much the end of everything. And then sometime this winter, I will take a full inventory again to see what I need to grow for this year. I'm going to pressure can these for about 20 minutes. I could water bath them, but I had the pressure canner already out, so I'm just going to pressure can. For me, pressure canning is so much easier because we don't have all that water we have to deal with. Because water is heavy. especially when you have to dispose of it in an unconventional way like I do. All right, I'll show you what it looks like when it's out of the canner. Now we're going to go ahead and shred the cheese. Butter, doesn't it? So this is cheddar cheese that I got out of my freezer. I cleaned out my freezers and I did a full inventory of the food that I have. Now I only have a small chest freezer, but then I have little freezers on top of 2 refrigerators. So I have 2 refrigerators and a chest freezer. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to bag them up. And this will last us a lot of the winter time. Cheese and meat are something that we use scarce because it's so expensive. And this cheese I got last year. Or maybe back in the beginning of the summer, I think it was. And it was in blocks, and I just stuck it in the freezer. At the time, I didn't have time to shred it. Now we're going to shred it up. We're going to use it. I think this is the most fun time of the year for me because at the end I can just sit back and look at all the fruits of my effort all summer long. It's amazing. Amazing what all can be done. Now this flour was in a 5-gallon bucket all summer long, and I need the flour now, and I put it in these. Now this is actually a beverage jar and had a spout on it, but I just taped it because I actually really need these jars and I won't be using them for a lot of beverage. I had gotten a bunch of these. Someone put laundry soap in them. They were on sale back in the summer. So to keep my flour good and fresh, this is pizza flour, which I'm not sure the difference, but it's amazing. It's very soft. I add a handful of bay leaves and I put them on the top of the jar. And then when you are ready to use this jar, you'll take them out. And then you don't need to put them back in. This is just while you're storing them. Bay leaves keep from bugs and all kinds of things in your flour from hatching or anything like that. You can really do a lot of research on it. There's a scientific reason for it. So I have these 3. And I always like putting a cover. So all this is deli paper. And we're going to go ahead and we're just going to cover the top. Why am I doing this? Simply because I like the look of it. Plus, I like to keep the lid nice and free of dust. So there you go. That's what it looks like. I'm going to go ahead and do that to the rest of these. And then they will go into my pantry.